again, everybody. My kind of folks. Lance Russell and Dave Brown right along ringside, all ready to go on another big day of championship wrestling. David, before you get into the card, I got to show you. At a special request, I have been told, this is a first. And boy, when you start talking... Hey, come on, guys.
Come on, Lance.
Give me a break, will you?
Something that we want to say.
Yeah, I'll bet you do. Hey, you're a little early. You're supposed to be on down last in the sixth man.
Well,
you're not.
We just might take over the program and do what we want. But what we want is Todd Morton. Todd Morton, you're a punk. You hide behind Bill Dundee. We come right out here right now to make a challenge to you. You don't want to get no single matches in the ring or nothing else. You're nothing but a coward.
Yeah, well, that's your opinion.
Red dog, coward. He hides behind Dundee, and the only reason he hides behind Dundee is because he's probably the only person shorter than Dundee in professional wrestling. So, Todd Morton, this is a challenge from the RPM. Bring your little short can out here
now, Lance.
You're not involved in a match with Todd Morton today. You're in a six-man match.
We will be involved in a match if he's got any guts.
Yeah, well, it's not scheduled today, so if you guys will just let us get on with the opening of the show, we'll see you down toward the end of the show. He's not coming out here, and we're not changing the card.
Scared, Lance. That's exactly why.
You can put it on. Okay, listen, we gotta get on with it here. Would you guys please leave here and let me go? All right, we'll get back and mention this a little bit later. In there, I was going to say this is an absolute first. I don't know whether you can clearly distinguish the color of that sitting there at home. A pink wrestling mat.
Hot pink.
Now, this is out here at the request of the Beauty and the Beast that we will be seeing later, because they don't wrestle on any trashy ring cover like we've got up there. We're going to go with a pink mat cover.
Okay.
Add a little color to the show right there. Okay, we're going to be ready to go with a handicap match up there in the ring in just a moment. But before we get to it, talking about the guy that will be involved and the head of the stud stable, the Tennessee stud, Robert Foley.
I thought you'd be on top of the world hearing that the stable had some problems, but before you get your lines filled too big, before you get to just wallowing in a little bit, let me tell you about it. I got something else here, some big news to talk to you about. I'm talking about Sid Vicious, the hottest thing in the stable right now, the man of men right here, the man that's going right to the top, baby, and winning it all. I'm talking Sid Vicious.
Going top for myself, that's right. Lance, you can step aside for a second. I want everybody out there to know that my name is Sid Vicious, and that's what it says, and that's what I am, is vicious. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be vicious to everybody out here, and I'm going to start with these two jabrones that are going to be in here this morning. Hey, carry on from there. How about it, Mr. Stud?
Take it on inside, baby. Lance, let me tell you something, baby. This man right here is going to be putting down guys high style. You got two of them right here. If you had four of them, he'd do it just as easy. This is the greatest attraction wrestling we'll ever see. This thing is bigger than Andre the Giant or anybody. This man is it. I'm talking Sid Vicious.
Yeah, well, we have all that previous build-up on it. Now we're going to get a chance to see him in the ring. Dave?
All right, Sid Vicious stepping up into the ring right there. Rodney Napper is set to go against him. This is a handicap match. You got Rodney Napper and Chris Frazier both. And one at a time, let's try to take on Sid Vicious. I hate to say it, but I kind of agree with Robert Fuller. Look at that. I've seen Sid Vicious in action, and I think if he had four in there all at the same time, Mr. Vicious would give him some kind of battle.
Well, I know that he goes over 300. I don't know exactly what. Do we have any
well, he won't tell you. He says he weighs 300 plus. That's all you need to know. I said, where are you from? He said, ain't nobody's business where I'm from. That's his attitude.
Chris Frazier flipped across and rolling out here. You guys don't get the message, do you?
What do you mean, you guys? We want Morton out here, Lance. You know what? You're an obnoxious announcer. You know that. You're rude and everything else. We come out here and we make a challenge, and after Mr. Vicious gets finished with these guys here, we want Morton out here.
You know something, Tommy? Morton is nothing but a yellow-bellied coward, and as soon as Sid gets through with his idiots, we're going to show you just how yellow he really is, Lance.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know what I'm still telling you don't come out here and down on the floor Rodney Napper being destroyed by Sid Vicious.
Come on,
as this Vicious, for he is a giant.
The Morton, if he ever gets out here,
It's going to be...
Hey, listen, I would remind you that it was Morton and Dundee that put you guys out of the Southern
but they
Tag
had to use
Tournament.
that little punk kid to do it.
that's right. They had to cheat, Lance. They're not like us. We
So let's see how much
do
guts.
everything right.
Let's see how much guts this Morton's got. You know, I don't think he's got any. Like I said, he's a yellow.
He's a gutless wonder. He looks like he ought to be on a street corner selling ice cream somewhere, Lance Russell.
Vicious, 1, 2, 3. He's got them both right there at one
Right now,
time,
get
and that's
out
going to be
here,
it. Now, speaking of get out here,
Get out here.
Ring the bell and tell Morton to bring his
There you
rear
go,
out.
baby. There you
Shut
go.
up.
There you go. Get him out here, Lance.
hey, talking about getting out, will you guys just get out of here? Wait until you come in here. You're down here on the left.
Where's Todd Morton?
I'll tell you what we've got. We got a video we'll just go to. You guys
Come on, Morton.
Talking about
we don't...
of me. I'm only one, but not alone. My finest day is yet unknown. I broke my heart for every gain to taste the sweet. I face the pain. I rise and fall. Yet through it all, this must remain. I want one moment in time when I'm more than I thought I could be. When all of my dreams are a heartbeat away, and the answers are all up to me. Give me one moment in time when I'm racing with destiny. There in that one moment of time, I will feel eternity. I've lived to be the very best. I want it all, no time for less. I've laid the plan, now lay the chance here in my hand. Give me one moment in time when I'm more than I thought.
Okay, back in the action in a moment. Wednesday night, Evansville Coliseum final match is going to be a Texas Tornado tag title match. And that means all four guys in Falls Count Anywhere, and that's just one of the big tag. Oh, you guys, I really hate to put it this way. I'm a little tired of seeing you after what you did on the show. They're going
All
to see it.
we did is exactly what we said we were going to do, Russell. We pulled the biggest magic trick you've ever seen, and you're going to see it in just a few minutes when you watch Todd Morton turn from a human being and a midget wrestler into a canary.
Very funny, very funny.
You know, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a point. Morton, you stuck your nose in with the rock and roll RPMs. Anybody that does that gets it knocked off. And we got one down and one to go, Russell, and that little short Dundee is the one we're going to get.
That may be the hardest one for you to get over the hump with, I'll tell you for a living fact, because Dundee doesn't take that kind of stuff lightly. Dutch Mantell coming to town to wrestle Jeff Jarrett. Here's what the Dutchman had to say.
You know, Jeff Jarrett, I'm not trying to tout my own horn, but I don't think you could whoop half of me if the other half was helping you. Now, I know you're the world-class junior heavyweight champion. I like titles, and I like belts, and I like to put all of them around my waist that I can at any given time. But let me say one thing. You may be the world-class champion, and that's a Texas title. And guess who taught those Texas boys how to wrestle? I did. So you tried to learn and win from them what I taught them. Now, go back to can the pupil beat the teacher? Now, you learn from them, I taught them, therefore you won it by my training. But I'm going to tell you what, it's a junior heavyweight title. I'll tell you what I'll do, Jeff Jarrett. I will lose some weight. I will trim down. I'll get down in that junior heavyweight category, and I'll come in there, and I'll take that world-class junior heavyweight title right from around your waist and put it on mine. Now, I know your daddy's Jarrett, very close friend of mine. If you want to make inroads in the world of professional wrestling, you're going to have to fight people like me, so you better get used to it, because I'm coming after you, and I'm coming after you hard.
Well, I want to, before we get into something else that I didn't go out of town for a week and everything happens, we want to say hello to Brandy Hales, who is watching, and I'm glad to hear he's feeling better. Shoot, I didn't know he'd been in the hospital and all that kind of stuff.
Really been under the weather a couple of weeks here.
I go out of town and you fall apart, Randy. What can I say? I'm glad to hear you're doing well, partner. Listen, and while we were out of town last week, Dave had to have quite a session right
Boy,
there.
this was the thing where Gary Young and Cactus Jack won the CWA Southern Tag titles and earned the right for a shot at the world-class world titles.
Yeah.
And they come out here with the interview, and Robert Fuller starts talking, saying, yeah, when Jimmy and I go after those world belts. Well, what he was going to try to do is take that title shot from Gary Young and Cactus Jack, who had earned it, and here's what happened.
Okay, I want to see it. Let's take a look at what happened last week.
I want to congratulate them as well as Phil Hickerson, our CWA champion. Here's the two new champions of the tag team right here. Guys, go basket in just a minute, because we got another bit of good news for you. I hear the world-class world tag team champions now are going to be marching their tail right in here. And who to meet but myself and the gentleman Jimmy Golden right here.
Jack and I get the title shot. We're the ones that won the title. Don't you remember that?
Going on to do the talking. Just go ahead now. I was going to talk with you about this a little bit later. Now, what I'm talking about is the world title match, and I'm talking about family taking over in a world title match. I'm talking about Jimmy Golden and myself that has kicked everybody's butt.
Whoa. Wait a minute. What's your problem, Gary? You got a misunderstanding here. Cactus Jack and I get the title shot with the world champions.
No, we won the title. Best thing for you guys to do. Bruno, we won the title in the back here. Get you a cup of coffee or something. We're talking about the world title match. We've taken over that contract. Jimmy and myself are going to be wrestling when it comes down to world title. Shut up, Bruno.
Hey, wait a minute.
That's it, line up.
Now listen to me. The title match is going to go to myself and Jimmy Golden, because I run this outfit, baby. I own you guys. Don't get messed up. I own you, Jack.
Wait a minute. Let me tell you something right now, buddy boy. You might think you own somebody. You might have thought you own Brick House now. You don't own Gary Young. You don't own Cactus Jack. And we're going to wrestle those dadgum guys. And I'll tell you something else. If you don't like it, buddy, I'll just tell you this. I'll quit. You can't fire me no how. How do you like that?
Only difference in you, boy.
You can take that.
Only difference in you and you. How sounds an itching by my face. That I own you, and you might as well get ready to that. And if you're going to quit, I can fire you, baby. You get out of my baby.
You ain't going to fire me. Should I quit? And I quit that bimbo. And I quit that. And let's get out of here, Jack. I'm gone. Give me that stick.
Goodness. Busted kendo stick there as Robert grabs it and nails Cactus Jack. The stud stable looks like it's breaking up here. Golden after Gary Young. Look out, Robert Fuller with a chair right atop of Cactus Jack's head. Reach. Oh, look out. Over the table, over the chairs. Bruno wants to know what's happening here, too. Look at, oh, Young is cut open. Reap. Now they got Cactus Jack again, both of them, Golden and Fuller. Jack trying to get back on his feet, being hammered back down by Golden and kicked by Fuller. Trapped in a corner over here. Oh, Bruno nailed with a right fist by Golden after Sylvia had hit him with that kendo stick.
Yeah, right from behind. That's the way the stable operates. Jump them from behind and catch
Let me tell you something. Far as jumping from behind or from the front or anywhere else, Nobody does it better than Gentleman Jim or Robert Fuller, the Tennessee stud. We do it and do it right, baby. Yeah. Now, there's one thing that separates the men from the boys, and if you'll shoot right down here about waist high on the old stud boy, you'll find the problem solved right there. That's your tag team championship right there. That's one half of them. Now, the other half of them has been stolen. It's been robbed from the stable, and I'm talking about by two no-good, stinking, backstabbing turncoats, baby. Two guys ain't big enough for the stable. And I'm going to tell you something, boys. Just as sure as you was at the bottom of the bloodbath that took place right here, you're going to be at the bottom of another one. And I mean a darn good one, too, Lance.
Yeah, well, I can only say this, that the stable seems to be shrinking in size in here. That's Brick House, that's Gorgeous Gary, that's Cactus Jack, having a little trouble keeping everybody under control.
You know, I know that makes you very happy. I know any demise that I'm going to have is going to make you real happy, going to make you feel like $1 million. But I'll tell you what, I'm the one that's going to be feeling like $1 million, baby, when we get down to the building, because we're going in the ring tornado-roos. And what that means to you idiots out there that don't understand, if you listen very closely to me, that means all four of us are going to be in the ring at the same time, or outside of the ring. It don't make no difference, baby, because falls are going to count anywhere on that floor, in the ring, or any place else. And the winner is going to be the undisputed. I'm not saying right now that Jimmy and myself aren't the champions, because we darn well are, and everybody out here knows it. And everybody that come down to the building last week to see the bloodbath again when we laid them out there, baby, knows exactly who the champions are. But now we're just going to clear the whole problem up for everybody to see. You're not going to have any problem. You can be ignorant as these people out here, and you're still going to understand very plainly what a champion looks like when we get done with them in a tornado match. You count on it, Lance.
Yeah, well, I'm going to count on the fact that we'll see everybody in there. There won't be any back jumping in this one.
One more thing. You know, I don't want to ask Sylvia many questions, but there's one I want to ask her out here, because I think she can answer it better than I could ever say it. What do you think of downtown Bruno, darling?
Downtown Bruno? He's a low-life little scumbag, and if he keeps fooling around with me, I'm going to be forced to slap his jaws. He's a sorry excuse for a manager, more or less a man, and I'll just slap his jaws. I don't mind at all.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Bruno, when she said that, she was right. That you're the lowest excuse for a manager that ever walked on this earth. And I think those two bums over there that's got you managing them now sure got their problems when it comes to thinking, because none of you know how to think, especially you stupid punk. And you better do just what she said, or she will slap you around.
Okay, Robert, all right. You heard it from Robert Fuller, the Tennessee stud, and darling Sylvia. Well, I got to guarantee you one thing. If you got to have friends like that, man, you're in serious trouble.
You're right.
Okay, here we go.
All right. In the ring, and been there for a few minutes, the Grim Reapers there under the mask, got a parts unknown, total weight of 485 pounds, and just arrived at a total of 492 with downtown Bruno, their manager, from Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, Cactus Jack, and from Little Rock, Arkansas, it's Gorgeous Gary Young, and they are the rightful holders of the CWA Southern Tag titles. They only have one of the belts. One thing Mr. Fuller implied maybe, but forgot to fill you in on, is that he and Golden stole one of those belts here last week.
Yeah, I wonder how a mind like his works to the extent that where you can just take one and claim that you are the champion. That is not the way it works. And while we have had our differences with all three of them, Young and Cactus Jack and downtown Bruno, well, you know, it's like our mamas used to say, if you hang out with that kind of trash, it's going to rub off on you, and I'm afraid that's what happened in their situation.
I think you're right. In there right now, Cactus Jack has one of the Reapers. I thought he had him there, but he only had a 2 count on him.
Pretty good-sized team, this Reaper team, Dave.
Yes, they are. Not too much under the 500-pound total weight class, which means that they weigh the under, but near the 250 category. So they are some rather large men wrestling under those masks. Saw him for the first time last week on Championship Wrestling. Cactus Jack coming off the rope, just powered the the Reaper down to the mat. Reaper over to the corner, makes the tag. It's an illegal tag. The Reaper was not touching the turnbuckle, but it stands anyway.
Well, I go out of town for a week, Bruno, and looks like things, you have a little difficulty. Your head's all patched up in there.
Well, Lance Russell, I'm going to tell you something. Sometimes you have to go through a bad experience to realize who your real friends are and who the real trash is. You know, I was managing champions in here a long time before Robert Fuller or the Stud Stable ever came along, and I'm going to be managing champions in here a long time after Robert Fuller and Sylvia and the Stud Stable is long gone. Because you know why, Lance? Because it's like Mama says, it be that way sometimes. You know, I give you a hard time, and I give Dave a hard time, and I give these people a hard time. When it comes down to it is, I'm just a hard-working guy that grew up on the street and came up the hard way. I'm just fortunate to be in the #1 wrestling promotion in the world and be in the position that I'm in. And I'm very happy to be here. And I think that ought to do it because Gary Young is the greatest, baby. Cactus Jack, Gary Young, you're champions, baby. I love it.
Well, I
He
tell
came
you,
flying, didn't he?
if the Reaper had gotten up for that, he would have to be nominated for a Junior Superman or something. Young really splashed him off that rope. Gary Young, Cactus Jack in 2 minutes, 17 seconds.
2:17, and Gary Young and Cactus Jack came through with a victory in there. And since the last time we had a chance to interview them, they have become champions and have left the stable since the last time we talked to you, Gary.
That's right, Lance, but you know, it doesn't necessarily mean anything changes. The only thing now, our main objective is Jimmy Golden, Robert Fuller, and that little blonde bimbo Sylvia. We'll talk about her later. I'm going to turn Bruno loose on you, honey. But back to business. Robert, Jimmy, I hung with you guys for a long time through some good things and not so good things, and now I know what the facts are. You ain't nothing but low-life scum come from Tennessee hillbillies. Well, I'm going to show you what a West Texas butt-kicking's all about. Tornado team match. That's right, baby. Titles are on the line. We've got one belt. We should have two. But if falls count anywhere, baby.
Yeah, all four of you in the ring in
We
one
can be
time.
up in the rafters, Lance. We can be up there amongst everybody in the middle of all the and I'm so excited about having this match because I can't tell you what I want to do to these geeks.
It's one of those matches where all four of you are in the ring. There's no disqualification. It goes, the falls count anywhere. They tried to bleed you to death.
They sure did, Lance. And I'll tell you something right here, Lance. 10 weeks I've been in that stable, and I heard everything. I've been made fun of. I've been ridiculed by Robert Fuller. Said, Jack, you don't know nothing, and maybe Robert Fuller, maybe you're right. Because I don't know what it's like most of the time to look up and see a roof over my head. Right, baby. I don't know what it's like to walk into a restaurant and not have parents hide their eyes and close their children's eyes because of freaking nature. Walk through the door. But I know what it's like to shake your hand, Robert Fuller, to trust you with my soul. We're going to get him, Jack. And have that trust betrayed when a kendo stick come crashing over my head and my blood spilled all over the arena.
And then there's Sylvia. You know, Sylvia, you beat on my head, you put stitches in my head, but it wasn't just you. You needed Robert Fuller and Jimmy Golden to do it too. Well, I'm going to tell you something, Sylvia. You might bring a kendo stick, I'll bring a kendo stick. You bring a chair, I'll bring a chair. You try to get in my way, you try to interfere with downtown Bruno, I'll knock you out just like the stinking piece of garbage that you are. And you know why, Lance? You know why? Because it's like Mama said, it bees that way.
Cactus Jack, gorgeous Gary Young, and I believe they're hot and ready for that confrontation with him, huh? We're going to take a break and be back in just a moment. Okay, it gives us an opportunity to run over the entire card, and by golly, we're proud of it because it's a dandy coming up Wednesday night there in the Evansville Coliseum. The final match is going to be that Tornado Tag title match. Now, do you understand that when Cactus Jack and gorgeous Gary Young climb in there, ex-members of the Stud Stable, against Robert Fuller and Jimmy Golden, all four are going to be in the ring at the same time. There's no disqualification. Falls are going to count anywhere. When I'm talking about fall counts anywhere, because it's simply a one-fall match, partner, and somebody is going to walk out of there with those CWA titles firmly around their waist. Additionally, a world light heavyweight title match when Jeff Jarrett takes on Dutch Mantell in a challenge for it. You're going to be seeing Todd Morton. Well, you got an idea about what's coming up with Todd Morton, and Bill Dundee will be going against the Rock and Roll RPMs. Sid Vicious will be against Brickhouse Brown. Lots of other action coming Wednesday night, Evansville Coliseum. You ought to be there.
The update, and the closer we get to December 13th, the more historic Super Clash 3 becomes. Let me give you an idea of some of the amazing athletes that are going to be appearing. First of all, Medusa Michelli joining up with Bad Company in a 6-person tag team match. They will be meeting the Top Guns and 3-time ladies champion Wendy Richter. Also signed Sergeant Slaughter. He will face the mercenary from South Africa, Colonel De Beers. The Rock and Roll Express versus Robert Fuller and Jimmy Golden, the Stud Stable. We've got Wahoo McDaniel signed to meet the Raging Bull, Manny Fernandez. In tag team action, the RPMs and Cactus Jack will be meeting Mondo, Chavo, and Hector Guerrero. Also to appear, Greg Gagne, the Fabulous Freebirds, Iceman King Parsons, Tommy Wildfire Rich, the Boogie Woogie Man, Handsome Jimmy Valiant, and in a match that will truly be historic, 2 champions walk into the ring. 1 man will walk out with 2 belts. The WCCW Heavyweight Champion of the World, the modern-day warrior, Kerry Von Erich, will be meeting the AWA Heavyweight Champion of the World, Jerry the King Lawler. There are 2 ways for you to be a part of this historic event. First of all, you can join us live at the University of Illinois at Chicago in the world-famous pavilion. Join us for the live excitement of Super Clash 3. Or call your cable company right now and make your plans to see Super Clash 3 December 13th. I guarantee it will be the most historic event ever in the history of professional wrestling. I'm going to be back in a week from now to let you know about more exciting news, more match signings for Super Clash 3, the most historic, the most exciting event ever in the history of professional wrestling. Join us. Make your plans to be part of wrestling history.
Well, while we've been away, we have the pink mat on the ring. Now, that is all at the request of the Beauty and the Beast that we'll be seeing for the first time in action. So, right now, the CWA cameras had gone out earlier to get a little introduction into the Beauty and the Beast. Let's take a look at them, Dave.
I'm Mark Gullen, better known to you wrestling fans as the Beast. And I enjoy hurting people. I enjoy it so much, I'd wrestle on concrete. I'd pay to wrestle on asphalt. I'd wrestle in flaming, burning glass just to have a chance to get my hands on someone. But my tag team partner down there's a different story. A man with royal heritage and baby soft skin, pure and milk white. He requires something quite different, and that's why we've had constructed a mat, a very special mat, and of course, his favorite color. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Terrence Garvin.
It's just like the Beast said. Look at me, you can tell right away that I'm not like everybody else in this business. No, I'm not in the same class of people as a Jeff Jarrett or maybe a Bill Dundee. You see, I have seen the kind of women that these guys hang around with. And, buddy, I'm not putting my body on a canvas where they've been rolling around. No, I think not. I worked very hard to keep this soft, white, beautiful skin. I stay out of the sun just to make sure that no blemishes will get on me. So why would I want my body where those guys have been? My mat is picked up after every match, washed down, sanitized with a special formula developed just for me. So my mat is sanitary. And if you don't like the color, well, I think it happens to look great on me. And if you don't like it, if you got a problem with it, you can take it up with my complaints department. Show 'em, big guy.
You've got to understand that what Mr. Terrence Garvin wants, I see to it that he gets.
Oh.
Okay, that's it. Beauty and the Beast, your first look at him right there. We're going to see him in the ring right now, right on top of that beautiful pink mat that happens to be in there, David.
My goodness, and here comes the Beast right now with a can of pink spray. I guess that's what disinfectant he's spraying the chair with, and the ring ropes where the beauty is going to be stepping through here now.
Here comes the beauty, Mr. Terrence Garvin.
This match is going to be 1 fall, 15-minute time limit. Across the way out of Gallatin, Tennessee, it is Tim Woodard, his partner out of Middle Tennessee, Ronnie Leach. And going against him at a total of 465 out of Kansas City, Missouri at 245 pounds, the beast is Mark Gullen, and just now shedding the cape. The beauty is out of, and this is what they told me, the city of Pretty. Weighing in at 220. The city of Pretty.
Did you say that?
That's what they told me to say. The beauty, Terrence Garvin. Make no mistake about it. These guys can wrestle. Look out for them. We're set to go 1 fall, 15-minute time limit. Jerry Calhoun, the referee.
The beast comes off rather forcefully with the fur that he wears into the ring. And the bell time sees the beast getting up to go with Ronnie Leach. Ronnie not blessed with major size, and the beast just took advantage of it, slapped him over and down as he's run back into the ropes and whipped across the ring. Big hip toss. What a dandy. He really slammed him down. He dented that pink mat.
Yeah, I think he did. Gullen, the beast, picking him up, hammering him back down with a forearm across the back of the neck. That was legal, by the way. He makes the gentle tag on Terrence Garvin.
Barely contact, but it did.
Oh, ooh, yeah. See, don't take this guy lightly just because of first impression. He really nailed Ronnie. Looks like he's choking him there. Can't tell if it's down on the throat or on the chin, but he's doing some damage anyway. Oh, I see. He's forcing the chin over, pulling his hair. Terrence Garvin back to the corner, makes the tag, and Mark Gullen, the beast, back in.
Gullen from behind with that chin lock on him, really twisting the head, pushing down with one side. Tim Woodard is trying to lean in as far as he can, but he's a long way. Now Leach is back up to his feet. He takes quite a shot from the beast. Grabs him by the hair, jerks him across the ring, whips him into the corner, and there's the tag. This is Tim Woodard from Gallatin, Tennessee. Cat Jarrett is also from Gallatin.
That's right.
Remember, Cat's a young fellow that is in professional wrestling. Whip across the ring, and Woodard pounded into the turnbuckles as Gullen comes back, and for a third time puts him across, and on the rush, Woodard got out of the way. Gullen misses. Here's Ronnie Leach.
Good move by Leach. He immediately tried to take advantage as he came in there with a drop kick, but this time Gullen hangs on, and Ronnie hits the mat. Boy, he missed that drop kick, and that can get you in trouble about as quick as anything in the wrestling business.
That's the truth. Tag on Garvin. Garvin up to the rope, and with a knee in the back, drives Leach's head right down into the mat. There's a, come on, 2, 3.
Well, 2 minutes 44 seconds was the time on it. 2 minutes 44 seconds. Beauty and the Beast, Terrence Garvin, Mark Gullen with a victory in their first appearance on Championship Wrestling.
Well, there it is. We saw the Beauty and the Beast for the first time, and they look impressive in the ring.
They do.
They're tough enough, no question about it. Leach and Woodard found that one out. Timeout. Back in a moment.
Originally from Canada in the ring right now. That is J.D. Wolfe, who is closer to the center of your picture. And then the big guy over on the left is Craig Brown. And they are waiting right now for the Australian and the young man from Bardstown, Kentucky. Talking about Todd Morton and the superstar, Bill Dundee, set to go with tag team action here. The total weight for Wolfe and Craig Brown is 490 pounds, 414 on the other side of the ring. And as everything gets set to go, looks like they're going to send a big guy in there first. Craig Brown will be starting against the little Aussie Bill Dundee.
Brown, large gentleman with nowhere near the experience that his current opponent has, Bill Dundee. I love the story of Dundee and Morton. I mean, it's one of those picture book things where you've got a teacher and a pupil. Dundee has a particular, nice backdrop from Dundee on the big guy, Craig Brown. Dundee has a particular affinity for Morton because of his size. He's built so much like them.
Yeah, they're both short. They're both small for wrestlers, and but they both got a lot of battle in them, too. I think one thing Dundee has really been able to teach Todd Morton is that every time you step in the ring, consider yourself the favorite, that you're going to win the match. Confidence. Look at that. Nice drop kick on J.D. Wolfe. Puts him down to the mat.
And Todd is one of the...
Oh, look out, look out. Rock and roll RPMs have been after Todd Morton all day. They've wanted him out here. They've come out here to get him out.
What are they doing?
What are they spraying that with? Sprayed a cloth, put it on Dundee's
right over
face.
Dundee's face.
Yeah, he went right
there
down to the
goes
mat.
Morton out on the concrete down here. And Tommy Lane follows him out. Dundee just moving barely in there as Mike Davis is spraying it again and holding it down over the face of Todd Morton. And Morton, oh, look at this. You're talking yellow. I'm telling you. Really great. Come out here and they're painting Todd Morton up with yellow paint. Can we get somebody out here and get these for crying out loud guys out of here as they're slopping it all over Morton? Woo! Boy, smell that ether.
Yeah, it's ether is what it is.
Nice. Alan Reynolds, Rodney Napper, Chris Frazier, Ronnie Leach out here, and the RPMs go off, but look at Morton. They took that can of paint and just painted him all over. They're trying to revive not only Morton, but Dundee up in the ring as Dundee was clamped with it right over his nose. And they're carrying Todd Morton out of here, choice product of the RPM. And I'm sure it was just a disqualification on the match, Dave.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Dundee and Morton are going to win it by DQ. Minute 4 seconds. The official time is still bringing Bill around now. It was definitely ether they sprayed on. If you ever smelled ether, you'll know what it was once you get a whiff of it. And that's exactly what it was they had there.
Oh, well, we'll take time out. We're going to be back right after the RPMs did their job. Wednesday night, Evansville Coliseum, what a night of action it's going to be. That final event is going to be the Tornado title match. That's all 4 guys, Robert Fuller, Jimmy Golden, Cactus Jack, and Gorgeous Gary Young in the ring. Same time, no rules, just let it go. Somebody's going to walk out the champion. Now, that's not the only title match. You got a World Light Heavyweight title match when Jeff Jarrett puts this belt on the line against the Dirty Dutchman.
That's right, and the Dirty Dutchman earned his nickname. I'll give him, I respect Dutch Mantell very much, because he has been around a long time, and I hadn't been around just a few short years. But Dutch, I worked long and hard to get this belt, and I guarantee you one thing. I'm going to work long and hard to keep it right there in Evansville.
You got to go in with that attitude, Jeff, because this guy will get you if you're not looking for it. Talking about attitude, I don't blame him. Bill Dundee, Todd Morton will be in there against Wednesday night, the RPMs, with an attitude I love.
That's right, and it's going to be an attitude adjustment. Hey, boys, you don't have to get my attention. If you want anything, just walk up and say, I want to fight you. We'll fight you. We ain't scared of you. But you don't come on national television, put me to sleep with either, put the kid to sleep with either, then paint him. Oh, no, that don't work, brother. That don't work. You got our attention all right now. You got our attention. But I'm just going to tell y'all something. All the yell that was covered on him, it's going to be red on you. 400 Court Street, brother, that's the number of the building. And if it takes 400 punches to get it, that's exactly what it's going to be. We're not coming there to worry about winning 1, 2, 3. We're just coming down to hurt you. So if it means picking up a chair and hitting you on the head with it from go to woe, that's exactly what we're going to do. See the difference between us and you? We're telling you up front so you can do it to us, but you ain't got enough guts to do it face to face. You're going to come in and jump on us, put us to sleep, and humiliate us on television. Well, we're going to humiliate you right there, 400 Court Street, because I promise you, both of you, this kid's never been in a match where blood was involved, but he's going to practice real hard to punch you hard enough to make you bleed this week, because I promised the kid, for every drop of yellow that was on him, it's going to be red on you, and I'm keeping my word to him, to me, and all them nice folks out there. So we'll see you 400 Court Street, punk.
Wednesday night, Evansville, the Coliseum. You got to be there.
All right, six-man tag team match. Just about set to go here. On one side of the ring, it's 719 pounds out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. You got Mean Mike Miller. And with him from Atlanta, Georgia, Mike Davis and Tommy Lane, the Rock and Roll RPMs. Going against them from Orlando, Florida, Brian Lee. From Detroit, Michigan, Scott Steiner. From Arkansas, Alan Reynolds. Looks like it's going to be Mean Mike Miller starting against Scott Steiner. Yeah. The Rock and Roll RPM's mighty happy with themselves, huh? They beat up on a kid out here.
Yeah, they beat up on the kid, used a little ether to do it, and then painted him yellow in there, and that makes him big time. Yeah. This is a pretty good matchup physically in there that we got, Dave. We got a lot of experience in the RPM. Mike Miller! Nice hip toss on a reversal by Scott Steiner. Look at him.
Steiner definitely demonstrating some of that collegiate athletic ability he has there as he put Mean Mike down to the mat, stretched out that left arm a little bit. Miller back on his feet. Scott over to the corner and tags Alan Reynolds. Alan twisting up that left arm a little bit, too.
Alan is a relative newcomer, and he's no peanut himself. He's a pretty good-sized boy. Well,
yes, he is. He'll weigh in close to 230, about 227, 228. Makes a tag on another wrestler with good size on him, close to 250. Doesn't have that much experience, but he really has the physical build to be a great wrestler, Brian Lee.
Big shoulder, and down goes Tommy Lane. Right back up into a standing side headlock. The big guy from Orlando squeezing away, but look at Lane coming from underneath. Driving straight up and reaches up and grabs the hair underneath his shoulder. Beautiful move, even though it was illegal.
That's right. Yeah, I tell you, Rock and Roll RPM, they don't have the great size. They'll both weigh in at 226, 227. Boy, they've got some meanness on their side, too, and they're deceptive. They're able to make those illegal moves, as you just described, and get away with it.
Those son of a guns, I'll tell you what, they've been to battle with just, look at it. Whoa, that lead jerk got Mike Davis straight up in the air. I mean, just absolutely pressed him straight up and then slammed him down.
Gives you some idea of the power that Brian Lee has at a great height. And the upper body strength. Mike Davis hanging back close to the corner. I don't think he's too thrilled to go back out and wade into the middle of this one right now.
That got a whole shock right through his system when this guy reached down and just straight up in the air. He pressed him up there and then slammed him down.
Yeah, they got Brian back in their corner. That's not a good place. Whoa, Davis took a haymaker swing at him. And Brian Lee ducked out of the way, so Davis hit his partner, Tommy Lane.
Tag on Mean Mike from Baton Rouge. And he is in there with large Brian Lee. Oh, nice move. Give him credit. Boy, the big guy went in behind him and took him down and rolled him up for a count and a half. And Brian Lee was able to get out of it. But Mike has got himself working now. Mike Miller slams his head right into that top turnbuckle. Mike Davis holds down the head of Brian Lee with a hair, and the referee starts the count on the disqualification. He lets go of him. Front face lock from Mike Miller.
Brian Lee trying to force his way to the corner so he can get a tag on one of his partners, and he's done it. Good move by Brian Lee, actually the mark of a wrestler with much more experience than Brian has, as he made his way to the corner and got Scott Steiner in there. Nice drop kick, Scott Steiner. Mean Mike over to the corner for a tag on Tommy Lane.
Well, have we seen previously, and I don't think by any means that the wrestling world has heard the last of Scott Steiner. Scott came through, you remember, in the very rich Renegade Rampage, was the ultimate winner of it, and showing that on any given night, with that power and athletic ability, he's capable of beating anybody, anytime. Right now, he's squeezing the head of Tommy Lane. Boy, he can put some pressure on you, too, with those muscles.
He can indeed. We're 4.5 minutes into the action here. 4.5 minutes gone in a one-fall match. I beg your pardon. It's not a one-fall match. Could be 7 or 8 falls if we have time for it.
That's right.
Scott Steiner with the headlock. Mike Davis shouting encouragement at his partner, Tommy Lane, in the ring. Look at Steiner drop down. Cover. Got a 1 count.
And again, back into the standing side headlock with Scott Steiner. Hanging on to Tommy Lane. Lane picks him up. Beautiful move, I got to say. He got the weight going back. He just got in behind it. Look at Steiner, though. Grabs Mike Davis, lifts the son of a gun up to the side and slams him down. Boy, he cradled him right in on that hip and then wham, busted him right off the mat. Tag on Mean Mike Miller.
Davis is having an off day today, and I think maybe he took this team a little too lightly coming in there. We're seeing that sort of thing where he confidently strolls into the ring, and Scott Steiner just yanked him up in the air and dropped him. He makes the tag now, and Alan Reynolds takes over on Mean Mike. Oh, knee in the back from Tommy Lane from outside. Alan Reynolds down on the mat. Lane hammers him into the turnbuckle, grabs him quickly.
I don't applaud Lane for what he did, but did you notice how quick he took advantage of it, Dave? Boy, he was through that ropes after the tag and bang, right on top of him just right away. And now here with that short clothesline, Mike Davis puts him down, and Alan Reynolds in serious trouble with Mean Mike Miller taking over. Whip across the ring. Backdrop. Oh, boy, got him up in the air.
Boy, he sure did. Reynolds, look out. Head meets turnbuckle over in the corner of the RPMs and Mike Miller. Double upper arm by Lane and Miller. Lane with a cover on Alan Reynolds. One. Wood picked him up. Picked him up by the hair. Don't know if he could have held him for 3 or not, but he didn't try for it. 7 minutes gone. 7 minutes gone in this fall. Been lots of fast action in this one.
Yes. Tommy Lane and the referee arguing while Mike Davis is choking the stew out of Alan Reynolds from behind, and referee runs Scott Steiner out, Brian Lee out, and now Davis takes over, going for the big snap suplex, and he got it. Tag on Mike Miller. Look at the way these guys are moving in and out of that ring, Davey.
They sure are. They, of course, the RPMs, longtime tag team partners, but they hadn't worked with Miller that much in this 6-man situation. But they have really kept the fresh man moving in. Boy, Miller dropped down. Big, powerful arm. Alan Reynolds needs to get out of there. Here comes Tommy Lane as we near the 8-minute mark. 8 minutes gone. And they have really, really been battling for the entire 8 minutes.
Boy, they got Alan Reynolds going downhill, and they have kept the heat on. You got to give them credit for that. Beautiful teamwork in here, even though it has not all been illegal. RPMs now pass the tag over to Big Mean Mike Miller, and everybody's in the ring. All 6 of them, along with the referee. Brian Lee and Tommy Lane on the side, Mike Miller and Alan Reynolds, Scott Steiner and Mike Davis.
Neck breaker by Mike Miller. Referee's counting. That's it. Mike Miller got the reverse neck breaker on Alan Reynolds. Held him down for the 3 count. And the RPMs and Miller are going to have themselves a hard-fought victory here.
Wow. They got the first ball. We're going to check the clock and be back with more action in a moment. Not have any more action in there because we are just flat about out of it, Dave. For whatever time, what do we have?
Well, we had Sid Vicious defeating 2 men today in a handicap match. He's big, he's mean. Gary Young, Cactus Jack, got a win over the Grim Reapers. Beauty and the Beast, Terrence, Garvin, and Mark Gullen are dangerous wrestlers. They wrestle on a pink mat, but don't let that mislead you. They've won today. Bill Dundee and Todd Morton got a win by disqualification. Mean Mike Miller and the Rock and Roll RPMs won the final match of the day.
An excellent match it was, indeed. Wish we had more time for it. We got to get out of here. We will have next week until we see you at that time for Dave Brown. Lance Russell saying bye-bye, everybody.
The announcers on this program are selected and paid by parties other than this station, namely the promoters of championship wrestling.